Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world, Disarray's news analyst Emmanuel Ifeni. Great Malabite, good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai.
In fact, I want to give you an award this morning on fulfilling implications and all the measures. Dr. Please.
Rufai, let's carry on with the business of the day. We'll start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, Yahaya, ex-chief of army staff. Army has put all adversaries in disarray. It's been God. Grace, says former military chief. IG assures security of lives, property, meets 79 MOPO commanders. Yes, the military chiefs who have just been relieved of their assignments were pulled out in that, of course, the usual military ceremony over the weekend. It was an opportunity for the Chief of Army Staff, General Farouk Yahaya, to take stock of what he was able to do during his tour of duty as Chief of Army Staff, saying all adversaries of the country have been put in disarray. Of course, talking about the war in the northeast against insurgency, terrorism. Yes, you can say they've been highly degraded. And of course, as we can see in today's edition of the Daily Sun, the lead story there, ISWAP Boko Haram in supremacy battle. Scores killed as group fight for territory control at Lake Chad, Borno. Well, if this is disarray, the military, ex-military chief is talking about, because according to that report, as a result of that fight, between ISWAP and Boko Haram, many of the Boko Haram fighters are surrendering to the Nigerian military, the Joint Task Force in that location. But he also talked about oil and oil thieves. Of course, there was the recent allegation made by Asari Dokubo from the seat of power, Aso Villa, that the military were the ones involved in oil theft, as it were. Well, I think you cannot say all military, because not all military persons are posted to where you have oil. So it cannot be everybody within the military, or it is a military policy. Yes, perhaps those who have been posted to take care of things in the creeks and the waterways collude, you may say. But securing our oil, the military taking credit for that. But we recall that not until private security outfits were added to the mix last year that we started seeing these leakages being plugged, because before then, investors like Tony Melu were shouting from the rooftop that the oil we invest in we cannot see. The oil we are exploiting, we cannot even recover because of stealing. But again, the Chief of Army Staff and other military chiefs who have just pulled out of the Nigerian military can hold their heads high that at least they have done their bit in serving their fatherland, because most of them had actually come to the end of their career. Having served 35 years in the military is no mean feat, and no matter what is left to be done for the new service chiefs, we can always say kudos to these military chiefs who have just taken a bow out of the Army, the Navy, and of course the Air Force, as well as the police. Not forgetting the Chief of Defense Staff. No, you can't use emeritus. We leave that for the academic community. For the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, they all did a yeoman job, at least in their own right. The nation can only say thank you to them for their service to country. Now, the Guardian newspaper, 40% hike in vehicle duties worsens transport crisis, poverty. Of course, With the value of the naira converging, parallel market and the I and E window converging, with the new value of the naira, of course, it's expected that so many things will go up, including 40% hike in vehicle duties, as we have seen in this report. Of course, the Vanguard newspaper is reporting forest scarcity persists as CBN resumes intervention. Banks ignore CBN's directive on domiciliary account. Exchange rates converge around 770 naira to the dollar. Now, the Punch newspaper also on the value of the naira. Naira devaluation pushes up vehicle duties by 40%. Customs raise exchange rate from 422 to the dollar to 589 to the dollar. Operators kick as import duties jump. Economics berate federal government, say policy will cause job loss, impoverish Nigerians, worsen hardship. And if we look at the Abuja Inquirer, of course, talking about hardship, the Abuja Inquirer reporting Agbakoba, Toyo, to Tinubu, Nigerians experiencing hardship. And Rufai, you have been canvassing, complaining on behalf of the masses about the impact of the removal of fuel subsidy, the impact, of course, and of course the harmonization of the exchange rate, all adding to hardship in the land. But it is not enough to just talk about the policies that look like razzmatazz, yes, from the new government in power, the Bola Tinubu administration. How to cushion the effect, Nigerians are still waiting. After all the meetings with NLC and TUC, the people want to see concrete actions.
They say 8 weeks.
Yes.
They say we are going to wait again for 2 months, 8 weeks.
Concrete action to ameliorate the pains, the pangs of these policies. And I'm sure the Bola Ahmed Tinubu must be concerned, just like the rest of us, about how Nigerians feel. Because after all, policies are about people. How it impacts on people must be uppermost in the minds of those who run the economy. Well, we've not seen the technocrats and the appointees who run this economy. For now, kitchen cabinet doing the job. Now, Daily Trust newspaper, Naira devaluation, Nigerian banks heading for recapitalization, capital base eroded by $4.5 billion since 2005, Apex Bank source. Experts kick against regulatory induced change. Yes, of course, you see the illustration in front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, how banks' capital base decreased with Naira devaluation over time. And I'm sure before long, there will be clamor and call or directive for banks to recapitalize. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Nigeria's public debt rises to 49 trillion naira. Yes, one of the headaches, of course, the government in power today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will deal with the rising debt crisis. Now, the Nation newspaper, why discos are bent on electricity tariff increase. AEDC, fluctuation of Naira exchange makes upward review inevitable. And of course, the quote there, for customers within the B and C with supply hours ranging from 12 to 16 hours per day, the new base tariff is expected to be 100 Naira per kilowatt per hour. Bands A with 20 hours and above, and B, 16 to 20 hours, will experience comparatively higher tariff. So just wait for it. July 1, you'll see the new tariff. Those who have money, well, buying up front. But even at that, at one point, you come face to face with the new tariff. You cannot buy for the whole year or as the case may be. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, Hajj 2023, Nigeria loses 5 pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. The foreign newspapers quickly. The Times of London, prepare for fall of Putin, Britain told. Yes, diplomats plan for more unrest after mutiny. Mystery over Rogozin and defense chiefs. Britain must prepare for the sudden collapse of Russian government after the weekend's mutiny, what looks like mutiny. And of course, the Financial Times also reporting that story. Aborted Wagner insurrection lays bare the cracks in Putin's authority. Prigozhin heads for Belarus. Blinking. We haven't seen the last act. China supports Russian stability. And the same story also in the Washington Post. Russian crisis cast Putin in a weak light. Ruben, Rufai, and Ayo.
Unfortunately, we seem to have run out of time, so we're told there won't be space for discussion. But just to commiserate with the family of Professor Layo Shaw, former head of department mass communication at Moshood Abiola Polytechnic in Abeokuta, Mapoli, former dean of the School of Communications at Lagos State University, LASU, and a very strong member of the Association of Professional and Communication Scholars, who died in a motor accident on his way from the Delta State University, Abraka, along the Shagamore Expressway on Saturday, when his car, reportedly plunged into the river. We commiserate with the communications community, with the Nigerian Union of Journalists, with Lagos State University, and his family members. He was a distinguished scholar, a teacher of teachers, and he was just going to retire in about 3 years' time. Unfortunately, we lost him. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Efeni.